All right, let's play a game of Magic, please. We'll play first. This is a good hand. We'll keep it. I hope my opponent keeps his hand. Please, opponent, keep your hand. Have a reasonable hand. Let us both have hands that can do things. This is like a perfectly reasonable hand. Oh, my opponent also seems to have a reasonable hand. All right. Yes. Yes. Bloodstained Mire. Okay. Swamp. Okay. What you got over there? This is a Mardu deck? Ooh, it's a beatdown deck. Alright. I wonder if you're mono black or if you're actually black red. Or if you're just delving for or playing Sacklands for delve. Alright, well we're gonna play Rattleclaw Mystic. Because we want to play Palu Chronos next turn. I could have played Woodford Hills and gotten a mountain there. Do minorly thin my deck, which may have been better. I didn't want to Crater's Claws that. Like that's the sort of other option here. They could just cast Crater's Claws on Bloodstone Champion. Given this guy can just come back with Raid. It's not a particularly exciting guy to just remove. And I'd also just rather accelerate into Blue Chronos. Ooh. Are you a white-black warrior deck? Whoa. Alright. That's kind of sweet. Maybe you're a Mardu warrior deck. Alright. At least this promises to be a game in which both players do something. This is a first. Ever. In the history of this video series, well, this video series as of today, that both players have actually played cards in the same game, pretty much. Alright, well hopefully my opponent doesn't just kill Polukranos, and we get to potentially Monstrous or Crater's Claws with him. Because Monstrous-ing this guy would be pretty sweet. If you just Monstrous, Monstrous kill this, Crater's Claws this, next turn, and play a Bivouac. My opponent just like plays some stuff. Well, as much as I'm happy that both players are doing something in this game, I prefer that one of them, at least, being my opponent, would do something at a faster pace. We have a Battlefield Forge, so it is Mardu Warriors. Alright, I'm not blocking. I don't want to get my Polukranos killed here by like some sort of damage spell. Kind of curious if my opponent had a removal spell. My opponent must have a damage-based thing. My opponent had a removal spell, like Crackling Doom or something. Probably just cast Crackling Doom pre-combat. So, all right. Well, we're gonna go ahead. I'm gonna Crater's Claws this guy. Then I'm going to Monstrous Polukranos killing this guy, and then attack for a bunch of damage. Maybe I should have I could just Monstrous Polukranos for 2, killing this. But I think this is better. And this also, yeah, okay. Monstrous. for 1. So I'm guessing my opponent has like a burn spell of some kind in hand, like a lightning strike, which would have made that attack make sense. Okay, and we're just going to ship both guys in for 8. Getcha. So we may get a Rattle Club Mystic Kill or something. He is, yeah. Oh, this is, what is this? Mardu Charm? Making some warriors? I didn't even think about Mardu Charm really. Oh, they have First Strike? I didn't even realize that I didn't even really know what Mardu Charm did, I guess. They gained First Strike. Okay, well, I was not anticipating a Mardu Charm. That was actually pretty good. Killed my guy for free. Huh, Mardu Charm. Okay. I should have thought of that. I did not realize that that they gained First Strike until end of turn. Okay, and it was, oh, he could have actually killed this with Mardu Charm after after the fight. All right, Mardu Charm is a good card to remember. Hopefully, it doesn't have like a another Chief of the Scale to pump these up, because that could actually do a lot of damage to me. This is actually an interesting game. There's things happening. It's not just one player's mana flooded or mana screwed. It's fantastic. Oh, there is a Chief. Uh-oh. I am receiving a bit of a beatdown now. All right, I'm down to 6. This is actually kind of a dangerous place for me to be. Man, he gets to raid into play. Jeez. Wow. Okay, this is actually pretty... Ooh, that's actually pretty good, too. Oh, you're at 7? Okay, you're dead. Fight this. +1/+1. This guy can't block. And kill you. That was actually a really interesting game. Like, stuff happened. I got, I actually got kind of lucky to draw a Temur Charm to win the game at that point. Because otherwise, I would have been in pretty big trouble. Mardu Charm is a card. Good to keep in mind. All right. So we have played at least one game that was actually interesting. So if my opponent just gets mana screwed now, I'm totally fine with it. So bringing in all of our cheap removal, as we saw that game, my opponent is playing a synergy-based deck even. So stuff like Magma Spray to kill Chief is very valuable, or to even removing the Blood-Soaked Champion guy, even just turning off Raid. All that's really good. Temur Charm is, despite being the game-winning card of that game, is fairly weak here. I'm going to take out a Boon Satyr, maybe even both, 2 Boon Satyrs here, because again, against a deck that has a lot of aggressive creatures, it's just a very poor blocker, and not really a card that I want to be spending as much mana on. So I want to be using my early turns to remove stuff with Magma Spray. Kratos Claw is a little bit worse when I've taken Boon Satyr out, but bringing in Magma Spray allows me to not need to lean so heavily on Kratos Claw for early removal. We still have Knuckle Blades and Phoenixes and Pelucranos to turn that on anyway. So let's go ahead and submit. Sarkhan I think is reasonable here, just because as a removal spell can be pretty powerful. You want to have some sort of end game style card too. Pelucranos I think is the best card here. Pelucranos is the best card in a lot of matchups, just because in this one in particular, my opponent has a bunch of cheap dudes with relatively low toughness, so Pelucranos is good at fighting them. All right, this is a totally fine hand. We have, Lightning Strike for early removal. We are a land short of being able to cast our larger creatures, but we have them ready to go once we draw a land or a mana creature. Definitely keep this. Cough, cough. Keep. All right, both keep 7 cards. We may have a second actual game of Magic. Basic Mountain turn 1. I was not anticipating a Basic Mountain coming out of my opponent's deck with all those things that he played last game. I guess maybe some number of Basic Mountains is totally reasonable, but you can't cast a Chief with this mana. White-red. Seeker of the Way. That's a warrior. I did not know that. Alright, so I'm kind of going to just Lightning Strike that. I don't want him to, like, to just gain life with, just kill my Heir of the Wilds and gain life. So I think I'm best off just actually killing that right away. Just seems like a better use of my turn and mana than ooh, Rabble Master. Maybe I didn't want to do that. Because now I don't know a way to kill Rabble Master. I did not realize this was a warrior. Alright, well. Ooh, well that was basically the best possible draw. And that's the reason you played these cards, to draw them. So even sets us up to be able to play this and Era in the same turn. So that's one of the things that's so powerful about cards like Magma Spray or like Crater's Claws being cast for X = 0. Allowing to actually do multiple things in a turn that impact the board is just pretty powerful. And being able to actually kill this creature and play Heir of the Wilds here is great. That's one of the things a lot of people think about, like just cheap removal spells as being okay, we can cast them early. Which is obviously really good, but the ability to cast them and other cards in the same turn is actually even more valuable in a lot of cases. All right, and maybe something will happen here. All right. Poluchronopolis. And we're just going to go ahead and attack. Boom. Get you for 3. Oh, no, it's going to get killed. This is another Mardu Charm? Well, they're going to get first strike, but my guy's 3 power. Looks like it was going to be a Mardu Charm, and then he thought about it. No, okay. That looks like a Mardu Charm. Alright, you can triple block, but my guy's 3/3. It's going to eat all your guys. Which I'm fine with, if that's how he chooses to play it. Or is he... Oh, this is not... Oh, poor guy. Okay, well, that... I think he just sort of realized what went wrong. Could have just done 4 damage to my creature and killed it rather than be in that spot, but... I think that game was looking good for us anyway. If my opponent couldn't remove Poluchronos, Poluchronos was going to be pretty tough to deal with for the Marju small creature deck, and would likely have taken over the game, even if he does kill my heir there. But so I mean, that was a game which both of us did something, even though my opponent ultimately did just sort of concede on turn 4, turn 5. But yeah, I don't know. What a bizarre video series this was. A bunch of games of Mana Screw, Mana Flood, and then a game, and then Concession. That's Magic sometimes, though. It's kind of just sort of rolls out that way. But anyway, I still do like Temur. I do think I may try playing with 24 land rather than the 23. I also think that maybe, given the way that the metagame has sort of shifted a bit, it's possible that Boon Satyr, given that there's a lot more sort of aggressive decks like Mono Red and things like that, It's possible that Boon Satyr is not a card that I want 4 of in my main deck. I might want to cut down to 3, maybe even 2, and shift things around a little bit there. We'll see. But overall, you know, the deck still feels really strong. The games that I lost were, you know, just really one-sided, where, you know, my draws just didn't come together. And granted, the games that I won were largely ones that my opponent didn't really do anything. So it's hard to really say too much from this. The game that we played, that we won, you know, things went well. Our deck was solid, and you know, the deck still I definitely has a lot of power to it. And you know, Polukranos, really powerful card. This does feel like a great shell for it. And if people are playing, you know, things like red decks, Polukranos is, you know, not as crazy powerful as it is in some versions, but you know, of red decks, because these can all like just stop you from blocking with Hammer Hand and Frenzy Goblin and such. But when you're backed up by cheap removal, it's, you know, really one of the more powerful things you can do is play a giant Hydra. So anyway, that's gonna be it for this week. Really weird set of videos, but I'll be back at another time to do some more and hopefully get some better games in. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.